but he obviously figured it out, and then he grabbed my at the end he grabbed my phone. You can see his face, and we put the devil face over that. Well, I didn't. No, Rachel.
But it's still recorded,
yeah,
right?
still totally recorded. He was pissed. I should have live.
I know.
Facebook.
I was just like, I didn't even think that. I was like, man, you should have really did the live feed.
Yeah.
Oh my god, the whole world would have seen it. He would have been gone for a lot.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
So as you can tell,
brave girl, dude.
Yes.
I did all of that. So let's rewind a little bit. And so in 2020, they sent me home from work because of COVID. And oh god, being at home was even worse because now I had no outlet. I was trapped.
Yeah.
So that video that audio was actually taken while I was at work. I was on the clock. I was working, and that's the shit he pulled in the middle of the day on numerous occasions. That was not the first time that he did that while I was trying to work.
Obviously not. I mean, shit. You hear his voice, it's like, that's intense.
Well, and
anger, like
the multitude of times that he pinned me up against our bedroom wall, and I hit my head on the window, and he has his forearm, and he's choking me out.
Yeah.
His eyes are black, like there's like it was like pure evil.
That's what they say about people like that.
Yeah, and I was like, oh my god! And he took his forearm and he pinned me up against the wall, and like I said, my head hit the window, and I'm flailing my arms trying to get people's attention. Nobody ever came to my rescue. None of the neighbors ever called the cops, which he was really. He laughed and thought that was funny too. See, no one even comes to your rescue. No one even cares. I get to do all this stuff and no one knows about it. He was really, really, really proud of that. But he looked at me and he said with his black eyes and said, "You're gonna die tonight, bitch. I'm gonna take you out and your kids are gonna be orphans."
Oh my god.
And I thought, oh my god, he's gonna kill me.
Like, I'm gonna take you with me, then, motherfucker.
Oh, I was like, I've never been so scared in my
entire
life.
He tried strangling you with a cord?
Oh yeah, that's
I didn't know if that was the same.
No, he strangled me on several occasions. So prior to that audio, because again this was June of 2020. So I got sent home, and I thought, it would be really nice to take a family vacation. Why I thought it would be nice to spend more money on this fucker is beyond me. So I said,
you should have left him in California.
I actually have this written. I have that written down. So against my better judgment, I decided maybe we should take a family vacation. And maybe that's just what we all need. So
maybe it'll make things
I bought luggage for myself and luggage for him, and I got a really good deal on plane tickets because of COVID.
Yeah.
And I had already purchased 3.
Damn it.
We flew out Southwest to Los Angeles, California, and then I rented through Enterprise. I rented a Mustang convertible to drive from Los Angeles to Las Vegas.
It is sexy.
Yeah, and then my plane tickets home were from Vegas back to Chicago.
Nice.
I paid less than $500 for 3 tickets.
That's great.
Awesome.
See, my family could do that. Like, for those prices, we could do that.
Yeah, and that was reasonable. Of course, a lot of things were closed down due to COVID, but I would have to say, for the most part, the trip went well. But prior to the trip, he also decided to pick another fight with me, hence that recording. So somewhere around that same time frame that's not recorded, he told me I should buy another ticket for the plane. I said, why? There's only 3 of us. He says, I was so fat that I needed both Jenny Craig and Weight Watchers, and I needed to buy an extra plane ticket because my fat ass wouldn't fit on the plane. And then proceeded to give me the phone numbers to both Jenny Craig and Weight Watchers. Wasn't that nice of him? Wasn't that real nice of him to do that?
I'd give him the number to freaking Riverwood. Shit. I'd go there, but shit, And
I was like, I wish I had that.
You know what I mean?
To
the insane asylum or something.
No.
Shit.
And I thought, I know I didn't just pay thousands of dollars
for
him to insult me like that. So if that wasn't bad enough, we decided to take another trip in 2021 because why not spend more money on this asshole? So in 2021, we decided, let's go to Pigeon Forge. Never been there.
Yeah.
It'll be super fun. I had a coworker that lived in Knoxville.
Okay.
And so we're like, well, we should go to Knoxville while we're there, and I can meet this person in person.
Oh.
So we did. I planned our trip around to be able to go to Knoxville.
Okay.
So we went there, and of course he put on the charm, and he'd been drinking and drinking and drinking and drinking, and everyone was like, "Oh, you guys are so cute together," and all blah 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 blah. We come back to the condo, and he proceeds to hit me and pull my hair when we come back after being there. At this point, I was like, I know he didn't just fucking
Meanwhile,
pick a
he's
fight
on
with
Facebook posting how great this condo is.
Yeah.
Like, I remember the pictures.
Really?
And
oh,
bragging
how
about
lovely this condo is, and all these.
Oh yeah, and then bragging about all the things
for.
that he didn't pay for, and then
Right.
all the things that we did while on the trip. While Jacqueline is in the next room, and I thought, oh my God, he's going to ruin this vacation for her. What happens if she hears us fighting? Is she going to come in here? Is she going to try to defend? Is he going to hit her?
Yeah.
I don't know what's going to happen. And I thought, I know that motherfucker didn't just do that to me while on vacation. Again, thousands of dollars I spent.
No, I can't take a fucking break. I mean, you don't do it at all.
So
you know?
I was like, oh my God. I thought to myself that when we stop at a gas station, I'm going to fucking leave him there. I'm going to leave him there. And so
have
then...
him go pee and like floor it.
Wasn't he yelling at you all the way at the gas station because you were wearing an E? Like
oh yeah, that was the following trip. Like again, we did take it.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. No, he did, and I thought, oh my God, if we run out of gas before getting here, I'm never gonna hear the end of it. So I thought, oh my God, if I left him at a gas station, this would be, and then good luck getting home. You know, I was like
really pissed off.
But then
I leave him $5.
My guilt, because I can't do that, my guilt would kick in, and I would go back and pick his ass up, and then you could just imagine, how that.
You could have bought a bus ticket. There you go, and just leave it. Then he'd still come home, and I'd still have to deal with it. True.
So
that's true.
But I thought, oh my God, if I leave this asshole at a gas station, it'll make me feel so much better. I was so.
It would be
tempted,
funny,
so
like
tempted.
that movie with JTT. Remember? Jonathan Taylor Thomas and Home for Christmas, and he's got to get home.
I just saw that a couple of weeks ago. It's super
I love that movie. Yes.
If he got home for Christmas, his dad was going to give him the
and she's like, you
car.
Yeah. This was like reindeer.
That was
funny.
And
his friends, they glued that hat and suit on. Oh my God. Left him in the desert though.
I should have left him
in the desert.
We did go to Vegas. I should have left him.
I offered to go there with her. I'm like,
did you?
We can take this motherfucker to the desert. He'll never be found. He has no family.
That is true. That is true. So,
and if he comes up missing, it wasn't us this time.
Make sure you don't take your phone with you so it doesn't ping on any towers, so people don't, can't do your location.
Shut your phone off. Can you shut your phone off?
That's really sad that all these different scenarios went in my head. Yeah.
You can't tell me other people don't. You can think about it. It's not like you're acting on it. You know what I mean?
No,
but people that do shit like that to you, it does fuck with you, man. Like shit.
I always say that song "Earl Had to Die."
Totally.
Yeah.
Because Mike had to die.
He totally.
I guess so, man.
He totally
I
had
hope he
to.
listens and watches this.
That or somebody's gonna
makes it to
kill him.
I hope somebody that I know who knows somebody who knows somebody who knows him, so he can hear this. So after all of 2020, being that vacation, and then going through what I did in 21. Why not plan another vacation for 22? Because I'm a sucker for spending money.
It was so wonderful.
It was so wonderful the first time. So once again, we decided
we should do a ladies' vacation. No men allowed.
So we decided to go to Pigeon Forge. Oh well, let me just back up a little bit for Vegas. Okay. So I had been to Vegas 5 times before that trip, and I said to him, we should stay at the Pink Flamingo. Or it's actually the Flamingo. I don't even think.
It's the Flamingo. You're right.
It's pink. So I said we should stay at the Flamingo because the Flamingo is right downtown. It's in the heart of everything. And you know what he said? I ain't staying in no stupid fucking pink ass pink flamingo fucking
then
hotel.
You're fucked, man.
So I said, well, where would you like to stay then? As it was up to him. I mean, again, I'm one made for it. He says, well, we should stay at the Golden Nugget because they have the big shark, pool with the slide.
You can slide through the shark.
Yes, but so, expensive.
So I said, okay, we could stay there. So we did. Well, of course, in 2020, Fremont Street.
The slide was closed, was it?
No, they had no. But we didn't actually ever use the slide because they were limited in how many people they were letting in there, and they were closing it early due to the fact that they were, COVID and short staffed. So we never even used the pool. And Fremont, jokes on him. So
we should have spread him to the sharks.
Yeah, actually serves him right. He didn't get to
Take
go.
him to Shed's Aquarium.
Fremont Street wasn't nearly what it normally is because of 2020. So there wasn't much entertainment on Fremont Street either. Well, Fremont Street was kind of boring. Yeah. So one day we went to the Strip. So of course, we got a cab and we went down there, and then he goes, "Oh, that's where the flamingo is? We should have stayed there." No fucking shit, asshole. I tried to tell you. I tried to tell you.
Yeah.
I should have just fucking booked the flamingo and called it a day. And went, they screwed up our reservation. What I should have done. So I'm planning everything, things that we would like, and he bitches about every fucking thing I did.
Yep.
I don't want to stay at that hotel. I don't want to do that. And then when I planned our first trip to Tennessee, I had every day planned out. Like, we're going to go here, we're going to go there. Because if you don't plan that and have some sort of itinerary, it's kind of hard to do all the things that you wanted to do. And if you've ever been to Pigeon Forge, you really could spend 2 months there and still not do
like Florida. It's
everything.
Like Disney. Like, there's so much.
There is so much.
You got to make it, like you said, an itinerary because
so I picked all these things. He fucking bitched about that. Why do we have to do something every day? Why can't I said, okay, do you want to do this?
It's a vacation.
Do you want to do that? Yeah. Did you want to go on the mountain coaster? Yeah. Did you want to go to this place to go eat? Yeah. Did you want to do zip lining? Yeah.
Oh, hey.
I said, okay, well, how are we going to do all of that?
That's a lot.
You're a sugar mama, girl.
Oh, yeah.
That's a lot.
So this is what pisses me off.
Expensive as hell,
So I planned and pre-did and prepaid for all these things, and then he just bitched about it. Bitched about how I just want a day we don't do anything. Fine, then you can sit your fucking ass in the condo all day long, and I'll go and do stuff. Oh no, he didn't want to do that. Of course, that wasn't gonna work.
And then you find somebody better.
Yeah, and then we would get home, and he goes, "Oh, look at all the souvenirs I got." Oh yeah, because I paid for those too.
Oh, right.
So we got T-shirts and sweatshirts and shot glasses and can cozies. You name it, he got it. Oh, that was such a wonderful trip. I'm so glad that you planned all of that. We got to do.
Oh, wow.
Are you fucking kidding me? You bitch about it first, and now you're glad that you did all that. Yeah. I'm like, I can't. Like, my patience level with this. So again, if that wasn't bad enough, let's go ahead and book another trip for 2022.
To where now?
We went back. So now we went back to Pigeon Forge the second time because God forbid, I know. I don't know what. Don't know what I was thinking.
You don't give up.
I wanted your kids a vacation and.
The kids had one, so we went to Disney World in 2012. And so this was their, of course, Dawson was living in Iowa, so he wasn't even part of this, but this was all about Jacqueline.
Okay.
And so in 2022, we go once again back to Pigeon Forge, and I planned the whole thing. But I also was like, okay, we were here for an extra day, so I really need to plan our budget better because we were eating all of our meals out. We would go out to breakfast every day, and then we would go out to dinner every day.
Yeah.
So when I was like, well, maybe we should only do this because of this to kind of cut back on some costs. Maybe we don't buy as much souvenirs. Girl, you had thought I was doing World War III with that. Heaven forbid I try to be on a budget and not spend any money while on there on our trip. It was all about, well, why would you, what do you mean you don't want to do that and not spend your money? Well, because you're not helping me with anything.
It's not your money.
It's not your money. It's not, this is my money.
Yes.
I'm so sorry that I'm taking money away from you. I mean, God forbid,
that you use me for.
How inconsiderate of me to watch my spendings. And again, he was lucky I didn't leave his ass stranded on the side of the street.
He's lucky you're such a good person, because you know what? I think I would have left him at the gas station. I would feel bad. I admit.
Should have left him at
someone wanted to die or something,
Oh, I could give a shit if that man died.
But what he's done to you, like,
I would not feel sorry for him. In fact, in 2018, when he fell at work, the doctor had said, "Hey, what are you doing about your blood sugar? What kind of diabetic supplies are you taking?" He's like, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Your blood sugar is like 600. That's too bad they cut that.
Drinking and drinking.
Oh yeah, drinking.
Yeah. And then he looked like a fucking lemonade, or almost an orange juice.
If they had taken blood, it would have came out Miller Lite. It wouldn't have been any blood.
I had to take the hospital ones.
Well, so they're like, "Oh yeah, you're gonna need to you're gonna need to see a specialist because you're diabetic." He had no idea he was diabetic. Now, my mom taught first year nursing at LMC, and my step sister died of diabetes, and my mom taught diabetes as part of it. So diabetes was her special, one of her things. Yeah. So she said to him, "I can help you. Well, I'll take." So she took him to the doctor. She helped him get on a program, helped him to regulate his sugar, when to check his sugar levels, until he didn't want my mom part of anything that had to do with that, because he didn't want my mom to know his medical stuff.
Oh, okay.
So, and then the doctor told him that his liver, it was like, they're like, "You realize that you have a really bad liver, and you'd be lucky if you're going to live 10 years. He's got 4 more to go if I'm lucky."
Damn.
Sucks to be you. I hope
he's down 4 to go, buddy.
He quit drinking. Maybe it made a difference.
One of the other guys I dated actually died, so maybe I could get lucky.
I know. Actually, 2 of them.
That's not funny. That's a different story.
I know.
For a different,
the last person I dated
1 more
died.
to go.
Yeah.
He wasn't a very good person either, so I didn't feel sorry for him. So it didn't matter that I paid for all the household bills, all the groceries, and I did all the cooking and all the cleaning and all of that, and took him on vacation. He still felt the need to hit me, punch me, kick me, trip me, spit on me, and spend my money, and then go, "Make it rain, bitch, make it rain." That's what I thought.
No.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought. You just do everything because you don't have
money.
kahunas.
I know what. I was just like, I'm trying to picture him even saying this. Like, what the fuck?
I feel like you make it
rain. You're weak, Marni. You don't have kahunas. You were never ever going to tell anyone. And I said, "Well, I'm going to tell Tracy." "Well, what's that bitch going to do?" I'm like, "Well, she works for the state. She has connections.
She's going to be coming down, knocking down the door.
She has connections. You don't want to mess with my friend."
I know. I would not want to mess with Tracy.
I'm going to tell Rachel. "Well, what's that? Well, what's that bitch going to do?" I'm like, "Well, she can do a lot more. Just don't realize."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Well, I'm going to go tell my mom." "Well, what's that 80-year-old going to do? And when they come to the house, I'm going to punch them, and I'm going to knock your 80-year-old crippled dad down the stairs too."
Oh, hell no.
So not only is he threatening me, he's also now threatening my family.
Yeah, give him a car.
Now that's something. My family, like, people threaten my family, like,
it's done nothing to him, but actually show him love and take him to medical appointments. And
took him to his doctor's appointment, gave him money for his birthday, gave him money for. He's resented Dave and Claire because he was living in their home. It was their house.
Yeah, and he had no control.
He had no control over that.
Okay. Wow.
So that's what made him mad. And in 2018, we had main water line break from Camelot. Wasn't even ours, and it dumped water into my basement.
Oh,
man.
What a fucking mess. Not once, not twice, but 3 times.
That's right, I forgot about that.
3 times I had water down there.
That's
so the shop
drowned his ass.
The shop back.
So
I'm calling my mom, and I'm like, "Mom, we got water down here. I don't know where it's coming from." And I'm frantic, and it soaked the entire floor. It got the carpet, it got my furniture, it got all this stuff. So we're like, she brought over a shop vac, and we're towels, and we're just dumping the water. And you know what he said? this isn't my responsibility to help clean all this up. It's not my fault you got fucking water in your basement. Who says that I have to help? Who says that I'm supposed to do all this? Who says that I have to be responsible for that?
Why you live there?
Thank you,
man, bitch.
And even if he didn't live there, he should help you because of your man.
Why should he? Why should he wanted to just reap all the benefits without having any responsibilities?
Whoa.
Dear God.
Yeah,
it was
really.
terrible. So of course, when you had that conversation with them again, you can't have conversation with the narcissist because when you do, you just get beat up. So then all it did was cause a fight, cause an argument for me to get punched and smacked and hit and bruised. And one time I was sitting at my work computer and it was after work and I was looking up domestic violence stuff because I'm like, work monitors, what you look up. I thought, well, maybe this will be a cry for help. Yeah. And he came over, I had the reader glasses on like I do now. He came over and smacked me so hard he broke my reader glasses and bruised my nose.
Oh, damn.
Oh, it hurt for days.
I know it's when you wax your glasses off you and it digs into the side of your nose. My friend had that and she had to get stitches.
Oh my God.
Luckily that did they were just these dumb plastic,
hers were the the metal ones I like to wear usually that I had before these. Yeah, that kind of went right in her nose. Oh, yeah, it was in the emergency room.
I think that same night he threw a highlighter at my work computer and shattered the screen. Like the screen itself. Yeah. Like a magic marker highlighter or whatever.
Wow.
And it hit the screen just right. It didn't crack. Crazy. It didn't crack the screen on the outside. It hit the underneath and all I had was rainbow stuff. Wow. And I said, I need that computer to work. Well, you don't need to, I guess you can't work then. I'm like, do you realize if I don't work, I don't make any money? So I'm not really sure his thought process behind that. Luckily, when they sent us home, I had the computer that I needed when they already sent us home, and then they boxed up all of her stuff. So luckily for me, I had a second monitor to use. And I thought, if he messes with this one, I'm calling my boss, and I'm going to have my company press charges against him.
I would.
Yeah, good for you.
So luckily he didn't.
To toughen up there.
Yeah. So luckily he didn't. But I did tell Crystal, but they weren't going to really do anything about it. It was he was already in jail and all that stuff. But I did tell her, and I didn't really have any proof that he did it, other than my word that that had happened. So so going back to 2019, it's now Christmas, and he had surgery. So he had surgery in 2019, and they did an anterior post. Oh my God, I can't think of the name of it. Where they go in the front of your neck and they work on your back of your neck with your vertebrae because he had crushed vertebrae.
Yeah, I believe
so
had
they did that and they fixed it. My mom and stepdad Rachel went.
We were all there,
sat in the waiting.
Sympathy and empathy.
Yeah, sat in the waiting room with them.
I know they disconnected his neck again.
Right.
They didn't have to do a second surgery, and then they all went home, and I waited. Well, anyways, okay, so now he's recouping from surgery. And I remember making him, now he's on these medications, and I remember making him...
Dude, you could have told me in the cafeteria that day. We weren't out in the cafeteria for breakfast.
Well, at that point,
I out of it so dopey.
Oh yeah, he was out of it.
Us recording his stupid ass.
They will for like neck surgery.
I really don't know why we didn't have that conversation.
I don't know. Probably weren't thinking about it at the time.
Probably
not.
What a perfect time to tell someone.
I know.
Yeah, I could have left him there.
Doctor.
I should have left him there. That would have been even better.
Yeah, he's in good hands.
You wake up from anesthesia and
he can't run after you.
Why didn't I? Yeah.
And his buddy worked in the hospital. You could just told him and said, "Hey, I'm going to leave him here in your care. Bye."
I'd strip him naked, then leave him.
Well, they have those.
Somebody walks in and he's naked, and they're like,
in his gown. Naked
pull it off.
Afraid.
Yeah, naked and afraid, baby.
I should have left him there.
Sorry, but
that'd have been amazing. I'm gonna have to claim him. Yeah, so now he's recouping from, and my mom and stepdad went to Rent-A-Center and rented a reclining chair because he couldn't lay flat. They paid $600 to $700 for this chair just to rent it for 8 weeks while he recuperated.
Yeah,
and he named the stupid chair Roxanne.
Sorry.
Yeah, you can laugh. It's funny.
Drinking, I spit this across the room.
Really?
Then later,
that's disrespectful.
You don't have to put on the
Okay, so he named this chair Roxanne. So once again, they're doing one more thing to help him out, which they really don't even have to do. They were just being
on his back.
They were just being nice. So now
lay him on his back.
So now we're at Christmas. And we're doing Christmas at my dad's like we normally do, and we were just doing the things that we normally do, and Dad's handing out all the Christmas cards.
Right.
And my abuser's Christmas card was, hey, on a gentleman's agreement, I'm going to give you the 2006 Ion Saturn. It will help you to get to and from work and get a job. And when you get a job and you start making money, then you'll pay me the $2,500 that I want for the car.
Oh.
Well,
2,500 is great.
For 2006, that's pretty, that's all my dad wanted. Well, needless to say, he never got a job.
Never got the money.
He never got the money, and he never paid my dad. Then, when he did go to jail, and he took the title with him. Miraculously, of all the things he had the title on him. He wouldn't give the car up unless my dad gave him $200 to get the car, to get the title, so he could sell it and put it in his name. Isn't that nice? Wasn't that nice of him?
Dick face. I mean, like, sorry, his stomach face.
I love it.
Dick face.
So once again, my parents are going out of their way
so
to
wrong.
work with
Dick
him.
face since I was talking to Gerald. He was
Dick
bitch
face.
about his dick face boss. And it's more funny because he had like the accent. He's like, my dick face boss. Sorry if you're listening, but
That's funny.
That's bullshit. Your dad helped him in so many ways.
I know. That's exactly. And then he would call them those people.
Oh man.
Those people never did anything for me. Those
what?
people never made me part of the family.
Oh my God.
Those people never. And then he would bitch about. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? You mean to tell me they didn't do anything for you? You lived in their house for rent free, you asshole. And you're gonna tell me they didn't do anything for you?
They're trying to help you.
Totally trying to help
yourself. Yeah.
No. Well, so when he went to surgery, the doctor told him that he wouldn't be able to work for 3 months. He told me that the doctor wouldn't allow him to work at all.
Bullshit.
So now
he started lying about the doctors.
So now at this point,
he
doesn't want anyone but himself involved in his doctor's appointment.
That's why.
Because he knew the doctor would say he's only good for 3 months and then he can go back to work.
Yeah.
But here's the kicker. He has a friend who owns a construction company.
Oh, okay.
And he hired my abuser twice. Once before he had surgery and once after he had surgery. And the first time he was not only climbing up a ladder to go to a roof, he was also holding 60-pound coils in the process. And then told me he couldn't work because he has back problems. And then I have pictures of those. I have pictures because he sent them to me.
Wow.
Then the following year he worked, and you know those great big huge metal beams that are used to go across.
Yes.
He lifted one of those along with 5 other men, but yet he still couldn't tell.
I can't even lift the milk anymore. Like,
he still told me he
seriously.
couldn't lift anything more than 20 pounds, and his doctor hadn't released him to go to work yet.
Yeah, bullshit.
Okay, so once again, you're lying to me
bullshit.
just so you can live in my house.
She found out later that he actually was lying, that the doctor had released.
I called his doctor.
I was like,
Good.
that's some fucked up shit.
And I was like,
this whole time?
Yeah, they're like, oh yeah, I told him he could go back to work after 3 months. I'm like, are
oh.
you kidding me?
Oh my God.
Oh, I was pissed.
Oh,
I was
furious. Oh my God.
I was like, I just can't. I just can't.
I'm like,
so
hell no.
Yeah, so now here I am working from home, working my ass off, and I'm doing all this stuff, and then he feels the need to just hit me and pick a fight with me. One time he said, don't you think it's odd that your dad spends more time with your sister than you? First of all, my sister lives an hour. She lives an hour away. So the fact that he even said that is ridiculous.
That is stupid.
So because my dad likes to run, because he's not working. Of course, he's got too much time.
Shit.
And so that's what a narcissist does.
Yeah.
They put shit in your head you don't even think about, but now you're thinking about it. It's like,
and he goes, don't you think it's odd that your dad spends more time with your sister than you? Don't you
now
think
he wants you to stew about it?
Yeah.
And then
don't you think that
so
means
you'll stop
they
talking to your dad?
Love
and
you?
Control it.
Yeah. They love your sister more than they love you.
Come on.
I was like, well, that doesn't even make any sense.
They love you both.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I just was like, but that's what they do. They gaslight and they manipulate and then they say all these things and then eventually you think you're crazy and you start
That's exactly what happened to me. Like, I felt like I should have went to a fucking loony bin. Like, I feel like I just went off the rails. Yeah. Like, it was just pushed that far. Like, okay, I don't even know what to believe anymore. I don't even know if I believe myself anymore.
Yeah.
It just got to that point.
Why did they do that? Feel alone? And
yeah.
Like you have
he was
and then
really
you start
good at
believing the shit about yourself.
Yeah.
Like, okay, maybe I am being unreasonable. Maybe I am unlovable. Maybe I am.
Maybe I am
just
fat.
as bad as
maybe
you
I
are.
am a horrible. He told me all the time I was a horrible mom. I should get Mother of the Year.
Wow.
And then Dawson moved to Iowa in 2019, 2 weeks after he graduated.
I mean,
and
I really think basically because
I really think that Dawson left because he couldn't stand my abuser and didn't want to.
Yeah.
And that was his way out.
Did Dawson know that stuff was going on?
No.
Oh, okay.
Wow, I'm shocked.
I know he would have left.
Well, I take that back.
Well, he knew things weren't good.
In 2018, I had said to Dawson, hey, trash is tomorrow. I need you to collect the trash, and can you take everything out so that way we don't forget to take the trash out?
Right.
And he said, is it okay if I just collect the trash and then just take it out in the morning on my way out to school? Okay, well, it's my house, and it's my kid, and it's my rules.
Right.
So, absolutely, that's fine. My abuser, on the other hand, thought that was completely unacceptable and got in Dawson's face and started yelling at my child.
He has no right.
And said, you don't disrespect your mom like
No.
that. You don't have any right to talk to your mom like that. And you're going to take out the trash and you're going to do it now. And then I'm yelling at him for yelling at my kid. Dawson packed his stuff and went lived with his dad for 2 weeks. He drove him out of my house.
Yeah.
He did the same thing to Jacqueline.
And then did the same thing to Jacqueline in 2022.
Sad.
So then, one time I said to my abuser, hey, can you take the trash out? I'm just going to take it out tomorrow.
Oh,
so
okay.
it's okay.
Yeah, for him.
Yeah. So then he made a really big deal about the fact that how disrespectful my kids are in my house and the way they talk to me. But yet when he does the same, when he does something twice as bad and or hits me, then that's okay. That's not being disrespectful to me in my own home. That's not a factor. But the minute my kids don't want to do something, that's disrespectful.
Wow, like seriously.
So he did end up driving Jacqueline out of my house in October of 2022. Okay. She decided that she had heard us fight one day, and so she kind of had her suspicions, but didn't want to get involved because she wasn't sure how to approach it.
She didn't want to tell you, did she?
I
kind of remember him boasting about it, like, "Oh, I know why she left, but I'm gonna keep it a secret." Like, I kind of remember that dilemma.
Yeah, but I went to a scrapbooking event earlier in the month before this happened.
I'm proud that she, like, I don't know, it's like weird.
And I found out that he thought it would be funny to give Jacqueline and her friend shots. So he got alcohol, and then...
How old were they?
Well, I mean, she'll be 20 this year, so 18.
My God.
I mean, yeah. So he's given them shots, and they're like, okay, we're going to throw up. We can't drink anymore. I don't want to drink anymore.
Oh my God.
And I guess according to them, he sat them on the couch and tipped their head back and then just dumped it down their throat.
Oh my God.
I have to say, he is good about that shit, getting you to do what he wants you to do, alcohol-wise. Like,
he did that to
did
you?
I keep drinking and throw up. Like, oh my God, okay. You know, when you're fucked up.
She threw up in my tree.
What'd she throw up?
I can't even look at Fireball. I fucking hate Fireball because of Mike. It's just like, I hate Mike for Fireball. It's like...
I threw up my mom's purse.
Every time I see Fireball, I get mad because I
van. I had an ovarian cyst, but like I'm in the car and we're going to get an MRI of it, and it must have burst right when we pulled in. That's good though, but all of a sudden I'm fine, and then all of a sudden it was just like a fountain. And I'm like, I don't know why, but I grabbed her purse and I'm like,
that would suck of all the stuff that women have in their
all the bags. And there's a grocery bag too in the front. I'm like, I'm sorry.
But Mike was really good about getting you to do things you didn't want to do.
Yeah. And of course, I didn't hear that story until after he.
Like,
after
I remember you were gone.
He went to jail.
I think this was the first scrapbook.
They look good.
And for some reason, you wanted Mike and I to hang out that weekend.
Actually, I think it was his idea. I don't even know how that stemmed.
We went to Applebee's, and I've never told you the story yet.
He probably told you, I told you, but I think it was his idea.
He was drunk at the bar, and he put his hand on my leg. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing?
You smell good.
He's like, what? What?
I'm like,
God, I could hear him say
Oh,
that.
I was so pissed. Like, he asked me to take him to Martin's, so I'm taking Martin's. He's so fucking drunk, he couldn't even buy the beer. I had to fucking buy it.
I'm surprised he could stand up.
And then he wanted pizza rolls, and it was like, I took him home, and he wanted me to spend the night. I'm like, no. I was like, I made it look like I was gonna sleep on the couch. And I waited till I could hear him snoring, and I fucking left.
Good for you.
Like, I got home, and I actually told Tim the story. He's like, oh my God, are you all right? I'm like, yeah.
That was the year you guys called me and asked me where the corkscrew was for the wine, for the wine corkscrew.
But I was just like, I gotta get out of here. I remember thinking that I gotta go home. You know, he was trying to convince me to stay, and I'm like, no, fuck you.
I'm
not
so
staying.
glad. I'm glad he didn't argue with you. I'm glad he didn't.
I know. Now I'm thinking about it. He could have hit me and hurt me.
He totally could have.
Oh God.
He totally could have.
Worse.
And he could have argued because when he not only is he just a narcissist and likes to argue in general, when he drinks, it's 10 times bad. And you can't argue with a narcissist or a drunk narcissist. Like you just that's
Lord.
just like you just.
That's worse.
I remember one time he was so drunk. He's like, I can't even get out of bed to go pee. And I tried to help him, and he was stumbling from the bed. He got to like where my dresser was, and he goes, I'm just going to pull down my pants and pee on the fucking floor. I said,
no, you're not.
You do that, you're cleaning it up.
Yeah.
I
well.
had such a hard time taking his drunk ass to the bathroom so he could go.
No.
Yeah, I shouldn't have to do that.
Exactly.
A grown ass man can't hold his liquor.
I mean, if you're sick or had surgery, that's one thing, but not just because you're drinking and lazy.
I walked him
He
to
just
the
wanted to
bathroom
piss
and
anywhere.
he's doing the wobbly thing and he can't even pull his pants down. And he goes, I need you to hold it. Hold what? He's like, I need you to like help me pee. I was like, you can't be serious.
Sorry.
I never had an experience in my entire. Oh no, he couldn't.
Dude, he gave you an opening just to grab that shit. And
So I'm holding him, literally
you had
holding
his
his
dick in a
back
vice,
up in
girl?
one hand and his dick in the other to help
Wait, you
him
actually
fucking
did
pee.
it?
Yes, I did. I was like, he's not
I
gonna pee all over
would
my
squeeze the
floor.
shit out of that thing like a like chunk motherfucker.
I'm really surprised that I didn't. I thought
that would have been the ultimate payback. She would have the new Lorna Bobbitt.
I could see you doing it too.
I could totally see her doing it.
There was one time where he was fighting. Where he was fighting with me, and he was standing in front of me, and he was, I don't know what he was doing, and he had like silky satin shorts on, not like cargo. Yeah. So, thin material. Yeah. Oh, I grabbed his junk so fucking hard. Yes. I pulled on that thing and I just dug in there and I just grabbed on and I said, when you let go, I'll let go.
Yep.
Good for you.
I did that to my sister.
My God.
Oh, that really pissed
not
him
that,
off.
but
So that backfired on me because then, that was the day after I did that. He pushed me down on the bed, sat on top of me, grabbed a pillow and tried to suffocate me with a pillow.
Shit.
And my arms are flailing. I thought I was going to pass out. I couldn't fucking breathe. And he goes, I'm going to take you out like Chris Watts did his family. And I thought, oh my God, I'm going to die.
Jesus Christ.
And he didn't just do that once. He did that twice.
Limp just fucking with him like...
So you already have a 225-pound person sitting on top of you, and he sat real close to my chest. Oh, not like, when you're having sex, you got someone on top of you. No, he was in a different position.
Yeah.
So he's up closer to my breast area, so you're already compressing me, and then you're going to put a pillow on top of it? And I thought, oh my God, I'm going to die. I was like, this is it.
I would have thought that too.
This is the
end. Did he stop?
Eventually, yeah, I flailed my arms, and then he just said, it's not worth it. I'm not going to prison over killing your fucking ass. I thought, well, at least he
took him long enough.
And then I came to and I was like, well, okay, now I have no energy to fight this guy back. It's like, how do I fight him? Yeah. You have drained all my energy to the point where I cannot fight back. I just can't. I don't have it in me. And one time he tripped me several times, but he pushed me and I went over the coffee table landed on
Oh my God.
landed on the floor, and he did it a second time. He grabbed a pillow and put that pillow over my face a second time.
That's like, when he did that, that's, what's that called? Murder, attempted murder.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That I'll get to that, because that's the other reason why I'm mad. So again, he's living in my house rent free. He's got all the beer, all the clothes, everything he could possibly have. Yeah, vacations. My parents are doing everything they can for him, and then he treats me and says the things that he says. And it's absolutely disgusting. And if I cried, he made fun of me. If he hurt me, he was proud of that. Like, he was so proud of the fact that he hurt me. So proud of the fact that Dawson left and he wasn't living with me. I made one kid leave. I'm so proud of that. I'm proud of everything. Proud of everything he did. Proud of everything he said. And then the worst part is, he would get up the next day. I'm trying to go to work, and I'm making my coffee, and he comes up to me and he wants to love bomb me. Oh, put your arms around me.
No.
Hug me, kiss me, love me. You're gonna marry me. Bitch, if you had $1 billion, I still would not marry you.
Never.
It's never gonna happen.
Nope.
And then he'd be like, well, hug me and kiss me. I'm so sorry. I don't know why I do what I do. I don't know why I hurt you. You make me mad. You push my buttons. Now he's blaming me that it's my fault that he's hitting me. And now he wants to act like the next day. And I said, bitch, I am not going to hug you. I am not going to touch you. I'm never marry you. I don't love you. I've never loved you since we met. So I said, this is not going to happen. I said, and I would prefer I didn't talk to you for the rest of the day. And then you know what he had the gall to tell me? You better lose that attitude by noon.
Oh, hell no.
You don't get to have an attitude. Bitch, Chacho, you drank all last night and kept me up until 2 a.m. fighting with me, and I still have to focus and work the next day.
That's
and I'm
ridiculous.
not allowed to have an attitude?
Right.
And give you the silent treatment?
Yeah.
Are we up to is this the pancakes? Or no?
No, that was...
Okay, I was like, are we at the pancakes? I had to go to the bathroom, I'm sorry.
No.
That was quick.
I was like, I'm going to have to call Kendra next. I was like, I can't get through. I was like, okay, I'm going to go tinkle real quick.
No, but that's the stuff he would do. And then I go, dude, do you know what you did the night before? So then when I was telling him what he didn't want to hear anything that he did. He didn't want to hear what he did. He didn't want to, well, you better get rid of your attitude. And if I don't, then I guess we'll just keep going. I said, fine, then let's just keep going, because I'll get rid of that attitude. I fucking want to get rid of that attitude, and you're not going to tell me any different.
Yeah.
That did not go over well, let me tell you. So if you fought back, that just made him even more mad. And then he would go, oh, you're starting to get kahunas. You're starting to fight back. Look at that. And all that did was make him more angry, hit harder, and hit longer. So it's like, what do? Do you just take it and say nothing? Do you fight back and get beat up even more? Because then, of course, then he's taking all my energy from me because I'm trying to fight him, and he's just, his adrenaline is, he's gaining momentum.
He knows what to do.
Yeah, he's gaining momentum
to hold you down till you fight it out to where you can't
but
move.
no, he would deliberately say stuff to hurt me. Call me one time, he's like, you're so huge, you're a big fat pig, you're a fucking whale, and I can hear the floor shake every time you walk.
That's bullshit. That's bullshit. It is.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, well, I can look in the mirror. I know that I got curves and I'm overweight. I don't need your fault. I don't need no management.
We don't need a man to point that shit out.
True. That's not true.
It's not.
Oh,
well, of course
that.
So like, one time, because I'm a smart ass, I thought, well, I'll really show him. I was so fucking pissed that after he said that, I deliberately went, stomp, 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 stomp as I walked and goes, the floor shaking, not for you, bitch.
Oh my god, I can picture I'm sorry, I was thinking that part in Jurassic Park.
I was like,
the T-Rex.
Here goes Marty.
He did not. He was not.
The water starts
should have
shaking.
bit his head off.
He was not.
Right on the toilet. Eat him off the toilet. Bitch.
Oh my God, no, that.
The guy's like, tell me your story. I watched all those last week with my niece Anna. I don't know why, but I get into this thing like Star Wars, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna watch all the Jurassic Parks.
Anyway, back to my...
I don't know why, but yeah, I'm weird.
Yeah,
She loves it though.
He did not. He did. I thought it was funny. He did not find that fun. That just made him. That just made him more
Set
mad.
him off more.
Oh yeah. But then we would be driving in the car for anything. It didn't matter what it was. If we were on our way to a grocery store, he'd pick a fight with me. If we were on my way to a coworker or even your house or a get together with some coworkers, he'd pick a fight with me. We go to my dad's house for any family event, he'd pick a fight with me. One time he said that I'm so fat that when I fell on some ice, gravy would just come out of my legs.
That's not even good.
That
Joe.
doesn't make any
That's not
sense.
even
That
good.
doesn't make any sense.
Don't.
That's why I laugh. Like, did he make any sense? Like, what?
No, he didn't make any sense. But while we were in the car, he
He
would do.
wasn't thin like either,
No.
so like,
Right.
you know
Because
what I'm
He is
saying?
now, but not
Because
then.
that's
He was
what they
overweight
do.
too.
They're very hurtful and belittling and disrespectful.
Yes.
And they say things. There's probably not one person that could come up to me and say anything worse than what he had already done in those 5.5 years. Like at this point, like nothing phases
It's kind of funny
me.
because you get to that point, you just start laughing.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Like, what
That's
else you
why
got?
I'd be home. I'm like,
Yeah,
I'm gonna have this, you know, like,
Yeah.
you know,
Bring it
just
on.
like-
Bring it on. You're not going
It
to say
is like
anything
that.
I haven't.
No, you think
heard.
you can break me anymore? Come
Yeah.
on.
Right.
Exactly. But he was good about being in the car. Like one time we were fighting on our way to Meyer. Several times. We fought several times on our way to Meyer. And one time he pinched my leg so hard I had a bruise. Like he just pinched the fuck out of it. And I was like, I'm driving. What am I going to do? And then one time I thought, okay, I'm going to hurt him. So I took my hand and I squeezed his leg. All he did was bend my finger back so far I thought he was going to break it. So that obviously
Oh my
that
You should squeeze
backfired
his
on
other
me.
leg.
That backfired on me.
You know what
Third
I'm
leg.
saying?
Yep.
His third leg.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so like,
Should have.
His little.
And then one
Little
time we
Chico?
were, another time we went to Meyer and we were fighting because he always picked a fight with me every week on our
I'll
way
need
to
to go to Walmart.
on our way to Meyer. And then I'd be like,
Sorry.
I'm not buying you beer when we go. Oh,
Nope.
yes, you are, bitch. I will guarantee you that you will buy me beer. And then at the checkout, fucking told you, make it rain, bitch. Told you you would do what I want. Told you would buy me that beer. Told you that would happen. And then you fucking snap his fingers at me.
That's what Cody would do to Kate, like a dog.
It's like, I know
And
he's not
Frankie hears
snapping
that.
his damn fingers at me.
So
Yeah.
is that like a PTSD for you now?
No.
Like some of you, like sometimes I get
No,
like
you
weird
would-
PTSD,
Katie.
about, like weird stuff now, like just certain words like people say.
Yeah.
Like I was like, it's like it just takes me back, you know.
I guess I hadn't thought about that, but no,
Like
at this
just
point
weird
I
little
haven't.
things, like somebody going like that, and I'm like,
Yeah,
Now
Caitlin,
that you say
she's-
that, it
she's like-
probably.
I know,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's
She's still
I have a lot
scared.
of triggers, even if it's just reading them, it's triggers for me.
There's a lot of triggers, like because everything that happened
Like I hate
happened in the car on the way
best,
somewhere.
like best regards. It scares the shit out of me now.
Oh.
Because of what I went through with the fake Homeland Security. Like, the guy would say best regards.
Isn't that weird how something so simple like that can
so
just be
stupid.
so-
It's just
it's
like,
not stupid.
I shouldn't,
though.
like make me slink, but it kind of does.
It totally does. But he another time we were driving in the car and he was fighting with me. And again, I'm driving because it was my car. I always drove. I found out later he didn't even have a driver's license. He was driving around on a suspended license and he took my kids to school. I didn't know that either. So,
Nuts. I found that out later.
but he was fighting with me and I was, running my mouth back because I was like, you're not going to continue to talk to me and disrespect me. He took my head and pushed me that I hit the window. I hit the window with my head. So then I was like, oh, fuck no, this isn't going to be. So I took my hand, I went whack, and I pushed his head into the window.
Good.
That didn't go very well either because then what he did is then he smacked me. He took the back of his hand and he smacked me while while driving.
At
So
least you
again,
did
fighting
fight
back wasn't,
You know.
it made me feel better, but it just made me get hurt even more. One time he took his hands and he put his hands over my eyes while we were driving. And I thought, oh my God,
What the hell?
I don't know if I'm in the lane.
Oh,
I don't know if I'm
Jesus.
going to hit a person walking.
Oh my
Am
God.
I going to go over to the next lane and crash my car? I'm like, you better take your fucking hands off my eyes right now. One time he grabbed the steering wheel and jerked it all around, and I thought, oh my God, he's going to cause me an accident. We're going to wreck this car. Like stupid stuff like that in the car to scare me.
Oh my God.
And I thought, oh my God, on one of these days he's gonna kill me. He's just gonna kill me.
He's fucking psycho. I'm sorry.
He's a total psycho. Psycho.
Who does that? Who
I
does
don't know.
that? Like,
he does.
that
He
could
does.
hurt him too, and you.
It's like he wanted to die. Maybe.
Yeah.
I
I
don't
don't-
like a double murder suicide.
I don't know, but he found a way to fight with me and argue with me and hit me and punch me. Like he took a flat wooden spoon, and he got me on my arm and I had a bruise. Then he took his fist and he punched me and I had a bruise. And then he would backhand me and I had a bloody lip. This was even all before the 2 days before he went to jail. I had bloody lip at least 3 times. And then he would do it in places where weren't necessarily visible because he knew we did a lot of stuff with the family.
Yeah, so shit on the internet like that.
You used to, I'm thinking about, you used to wear like long sleeves all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And so he would do that in places where people wouldn't. So I was one of the fortunate ones. Like you hear all these other stories where, he never gave me a black eye. He never put me in the hospital. He wasn't, he never broken bones. Never in a spot where people would go, oh, hey, what the hell happened to you? He did it in places where people wouldn't notice.
But he did that on purpose.
Of course he did it on purpose. Of course he did it.
It was not his first time.
It was not.
Obviously.
No. And I asked him that, and I said, well, why is it that you hit me? I said, why do you always gotta pick a fight with me? You know what he says? You're just the lucky one, I guess. You're just the lucky one that gets my wrath, is what he said.
Oh, I hate him, girl.
Oh, and I found out later he has
Welcome to my world. When I found out all this, when it blew up, I'm like, what the fuck?
He has a warrant for his arrest in Arizona for God knows what. He has
fucking come get him.
He has a arrest warrant in Leelanau County.
What
I
if
think
we
that's how
raise
you
the
pronounce
money?
it.
I'll fucking drive him there.
And here's the funny
yeah.
funny part about Leelanau County.
I got handcuffs.
He did something, and when I don't even know
Citizen
why
arrest.
he lived in Leelanau County. When he lived there, he did something. He was supposed to go to court on guess what date? The 17th of October of 2017. If he had gone, I never would have fucking met him.
Oh, man.
So he failed to go, and so he has a warrant for his arrest. But because he's more than 50 miles, they're not picking him up. So they're just going to let it sit
I
there.
don't understand that whole thing.
I don't either.
I mean,
Cody, too. He has a
He's
warrant
wanted.
in Texas.
You should come get him. That's how it works. That's how it should work.
Some places will, but some won't.
I know. I
don't get it.
I guess it depends on
what
what.
Dog the bounty hunter will chase down a fucking guy for his money, but these fuckers won't chase
I
him.
guess
We
it
should
depends.
call him.
I guess
Or
it
call
depends
them,
on
yeah.
what.
Dog, if
What
you're
they're
listening,
saying,
we
can we
got
get his assistance? If there's anyone in here that would be
no
willing to
shit.
help me.
or hitman. So I didn't say that.
So it's just
Italian husband
it's
I get.
ironic that this man for 5.5 years lived rent free, got 3 vacations. Oh, and I took him on 2 work things. So work paid for me for a hotel and for food and my airfare. And they sent me to New Orleans in 2019 for a buy fair, which I'm so excited about going. So then I said, am I allowed to bring anyone?
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, oh yeah, as long as you pay for their airfare and all of their food, since your hotel was already covered, and then just make sure that if they come to the buy fair, that they don't, monopolize your time. Okay. So I paid for him to go to that and 3 vacations and another work event, and yet he just hits me and kicks me and punches me, and he's rude and nasty to my family and just argumentative. And in 1 year, I think it was in 21, my mom's cousin Janet passed away. And Janet, I called her my aunt, even though she wasn't really my aunt. I called her my aunt. So my mom comes over. So this would have been like Christmas time of 2021. So at this point we had planned what day, the time, the dinner time, and the present time, and all stuff with the kids, because then they were going to go to Phil's house and do stuff with him and Tracy. So we had this whole thing planned out of what day we were going to do what. So my mom comes over and she says, "Oh, I just want to let you know that I've got this really nice obituary," because I don't get the paper, from Janet, and thought you might want it. And I said, "Oh, that'd be great." She goes, "Oh, and I'm really hoping that you guys can come to her memorial," because she had been cremated, so there was no funeral. It was a memorial. And you know what he had the audacity to say?
Oh, God.
"Well, we were planning on eating at this time and doing Christmas, so I don't know if we're going to go." I'm so sorry that my family member put a damper on your Christmas plans. How dare they die? Are you kidding?
Oh my God.
I mean, that's the shit he would say.
Wow.
And then my mom got so mad she stomped her foot because she didn't know what to say.
Yeah.
They left, and then he made fun of my mom's reaction.
Aww.
"Oh, did you see how funny that was that your mom stomped
My
her
mom
foot?"
would have probably kicked his ass, seriously.
If she
now
had
she would.
known
Not back then.
anything.
But,
Well, I had gotten converted at my company in May of 2019, so then I was going to be on their insurance.
Oh, okay.
And so I was going to have vision and dental and all that. And
Nice.
then, so I was going to have insurance for the kids. He didn't think that was necessary for me to have Dawson on my insurance because it was going to cost too much money. Again, it's my company, it's my kid, my kid needs to have insurance.
Yeah.
And according to the company, it didn't matter if you had 1 kid or 5 kids. It was the same price.
Just put it on. Yep.
And so we went over to my mom's house to talk about Dawson's, he decided he wanted a party instead of just family. And we were like talking about, "Oh, I'm going to come over here and get a guest list."
Yeah.
Because my mom had all the names and addresses for everybody on our side. And when my abuser said that, he actually argued with my mom and stepdad. And my mom was like, "You're not going to disrespect me in my house.
Good.
I should get you a court-ordered eviction and evict your ass."
Yep.
And she says, "I really wish I had done that.
I know.
Wish I had done it then."
I wish we had to.
And he got in a piss and moan match between my mom and my stepdad. I was pissed. I was like, "I know you didn't just argue with my parents. What is
I know,
wrong
really,
with you?"
for not everybody, like, come on.
Again, they
idiot.
treated him like family.
I know.
They did
And then he
all
gives
this.
them that.
Yeah, and then he does that.
So I think yeah.
Yeah. So I went out of my way to make sure that he had Valentine's Day gifts, Easter gifts,
Yep.
birthday gifts, and Christmas gifts.
Yeah.
3 vacations,
He should have had to
2
do
work
that.
things, and lived in my home rent free, and did absolutely nothing to
Should have been
help
treating you like royalty.
me out.
Yes.
And instead of
Queen.
treating me like
Yeah.
a queen,
Exactly.
He treated me
he
like
had it
fucking
made. He should have kept
garbage.
it going.
yeah, he had it made, and he knew that if I wanted him out, I would have to get a court-ordered eviction.
Right.
And then he has up to 45 days to live there. Then said that he would destroy my entire house during the time frame that he lived there, because he would be proud of the fact that it would cost my mom and stepdad money to hire a contractor to come in and rebuild walls, and then for me to
God.
buy all new furniture and TVs.
Everything's
And it
still
would give
saving.
him satisfaction to know that he would destroy my fucking house while he lived there. And then he would leave. Because then it would cost them money. He was so proud of the fact it would cost them money to do that.
Sick bastard. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I mean, just.
That's all I can say. Like,
And then I'm the bad
jeez.
guy. And then after he went and got out of jail, and he's posting all over Facebook, "Yeah, did you hear what happened with my ex? She's such a bitch. I'm so glad I'm single." And I'm the bad guy in his story. I'm the villain in his story.
Of course.
I'm
That's
so
what I
glad I'm
was saying to you the
single
other day. I
too.
would love to be able to fly on the wall to see how my story got spun. Like, is he back on line, like trying to like hustle another girl? Or,
Oh,
like,
I'm sure.
Like,
I'm
oh,
sure he is.
my ex didn't do this for me. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to see how these fuckers are spinning shit that I supposedly didn't do for them when I did.
Right.
Well, I'm
yeah.
also curious how long it would take for him to either find a woman, or when he did,
Right.
to start doing it. So
Yep.
there was a woman in Indiana, in Bloomingdale or Bloomfield, Indiana, when
Right.
he dated her, and he threatened her and her 3-year-old, because the little
Oh
kid
my
was 3 at the
God.
time they were
Oh
dating.
my god.
She put him in jail,
Good.
got him on a domestic
Good.
violence case. So that would happen in 2011. So from 2011 to 2017, I don't know where he was at or what he was doing. So it makes me wonder how many other women did he beat up during that time frame. It took him about a year to raise his hand to me.
Wow. That's...
No.
I'm so sorry. I am, like, nobody deserves that.
No.
You know what I'm saying? And, like...
No, and
it makes me, my stomach's so sad. Like, you
it.
don't deserve it.
It makes you mad because we hung out with him.
Yeah, and I didn't
He
see
acted
it.
just fucking amazing.
Co-workers that hang out with him.
It pisses you off when you start thinking about all this shit.
It's frankly, he's that good of an actor.
I know.
That's terrifying.
Yeah. And then
I usually see through people.
He was so good.
Yes.
He was so good at hiding that.
I guess me too, because
Yeah, and one time we were so it's like, you know, people always think, well, if you're in the situation, why do you stay? Right. Well, it's not that I wanted to stay. First of all, it's my house. I'm not leaving my house.
No.
This house was purchased for me, not for him, for me.
Yes.
To have a safe place to live in, and he took that and it made it no longer a safe space for me.
Yeah.
And people, you can't
Did you
just
leave
up
the
and
house?
you couldn't leave. You couldn't leave because if we were downstairs and we were fighting, I would run upstairs. He would follow me, and then he would continue
to
to
the house.
Oh, I still have it.
Is that where you're at? Okay,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
I'm just glad you got him out of there.
Yeah.
I mean, you did stay with your mom for like what, 2 months?
2 months.
He went to jail, just a safety thing.
Yep. And then we got a ring. We got a ring camera, which he knows because that was brought up in court.
You're trying to get him to pay for it. I love it.
So
he should have
yeah, they didn't
because
I wanted to be a lawyer.
We didn't have it before. So if I had installed it just in general, and then let's say he broke it, then yes. But otherwise no, they weren't. They weren't gonna do that. But no, if we were downstairs and we were fighting, I would go. My mechanism is, let me just, I don't want to argue with you. I want to de-escalate. Again, because you can't argue with a narcissist.
Nope.
So, you know, you can have a normal fight with any normal human being, but he's not a normal human being. He's a narcissist. So arguing with a narcissist is very, very, very difficult. So my mechanism is, okay, let's de-escalate the situation before I get hurt even worse. Yeah. So it was like, okay, my mechanism is I'm going to take myself out of the equation. I like to walk out, go for a walk or go for a drive. He wouldn't let me do that.
Yeah.
So if we were downstairs, he would follow me upstairs. If we were upstairs, he would follow me downstairs. If I went out the front door, he went out the front door. If I went out the slider, he went out the slider. If I got in my car, he got in my car with me. If I went to walk to the neighbors, he would walk to the neighbors with me.
You do fast enough, you know how you shut the locks.
And then he also knew when he was going to start a fight, because at that point he already confiscated my debit card and my car keys prior to that, so he would know I couldn't go anywhere. He totally had it planned. He totally had it planned. So leaving was very, 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 very difficult because he didn't.
He was ready for it.
He just didn't want me to go anywhere. And you know the best way, you know how you can trigger a narcissist? I've been seeing these on TikTok, and I'm like, oh my God, that's so mean.
Talk back to him.
Yeah, give them the silent treatment because they don't like that. No, or argue with them. They don't like that. Take your phone into the bathroom. Lock the bathroom door.
Make them wonder.
Yeah. Take a shower too long and shave your legs 2 days in a row.
Yeah, because they wonder what you're doing.
Yeah,
why are you shaving your teeth? And he told me he shouldn't have, but I was boyfriend girlfriend. He made it like we were, but then his brother drives by and it's a subject, and then he'd hide me, and he goes, "No, that was just a sleeping bag."
What?
Yeah.
Oh, that's shitty.
And then it's terrible.
And then he told me, he goes, my worst fear is that somebody will leave me. And when he treated me like shit, I did. I got my shit and I walked out of there. I started walking home.
Good for you.
Fuck that.
See, a normal
he finally
people
learned, and
leave.
I left. Yeah. And I cracked him in the head with a baby bottle lotion. I had a young nephew. Dude, he was in the garage, and I'm like, yeah. By the way, I was like. I didn't think I'd hit him.
Shit.
It totally went. He was like, shit,
right.
dude.
I've only hit a guy once, and it was really weird. Okay, so it was with somebody that that I had dated, I'm not gonna mention his name. The Czar's Band-Aid guy.
Yeah.
He came to Greenville with me to meet some of my friends, and he was so high and so drunk that he started to argue with me so bad. He was like screaming at me. He was like a totally different person. I don't even know who he was. So I purposely drove in front of my mom's house because he didn't know it was my mom's house on the Ray Street in Greenville. And we were screaming at each other, and I just saw red, and I just went whack. Like
good.
Good for
he's
you.
like, you. Next thing, he didn't remember me hitting him because he was so fucked up. He's like, you hit me? I'm like, dude, I hit you so hard. Like I thought.
Like no.
I actually thought he was gonna hit me back. Like I kind of went like this because I was like preparing for him to fucking hit me back.
Yeah. Right.
I was like, I have never hit a guy until that point. I just saw red. I'm like, I can't do this.
You get to a point where you're like,
and
how
I
much
wanted
of
to
this
leave
take?
him in Greenville. I'm like, get the fuck out of my car. I'm like, he wouldn't get the fuck out of my car. I'm like, well, I gotta like, oh, that was a long fucking 2 hours home. I'm telling you that.
I'm
I
like,
dropped him off at his
shut
drive.
up. And,
I dropped him in his driveway. He didn't understand why I wouldn't talk to him for a long time.
I wonder why.
I'm like, you were just fucking psycho in front of my friends, and then you were screaming at me so hard to like hit
it's
you.
Embarrassing, man. Shit.
I'm glad he didn't hit you back because
I was too. I think he was too messed up. But I was just like, I took cover like, oh shit, it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Well, see, and that was another thing that you were talking about, triggers. So he was notorious while at Meijer that while we were putting stuff in the shopping cart, we'd get to like where you check out, and then I'd be standing there. He would grab the cart from me, pull it forward, rip it out of my hands, and then shove it back up into me, so the bottom part hits my shins.
Those little like I know what you're talking about with the
that
shit hurts.
Yeah, so then
that old lady.
Then I was
worse.
I was so pissed that I took the cart, I backed up, and then I shoved it into him because he was standing in front of me, and all that did was banter back and forth between who could hit who with the cart more. So that really didn't do anything.
So you should have fell on the floor fake, like, oh, and Ree's looking like, he just hit me.
So one time, in fact, this might have been the same weekend he went to jail, and we went grocery shopping that Friday night, and he was hooping and hollering on the way to Meijer. He was arguing with me at the store, and of course I'm trying to fight with him. Everyone thinks I'm the crazy one because they could hear me, but they couldn't hear what he was saying, what he had done prior to us even going there. And we get in line, and he's doing that thing with the cart, and I thought, oh, you motherfucker. So I got out of line, and I stood, because the next lane, there was nobody in, so I walked into the next lane, and I let him undo all the groceries while I stood there staring at him like, shit. Now what you gonna do? I'm over here, and the lady that's checking us out, she was like, I don't know what's going on. She didn't know what to say. She's just looking at him, she's looking at me, and I'm over there grinning and waiting for him waiting for him to unload all the groceries. And then of course he looked at me like, are you gonna come back over here and pay for these? I'm
like, no, I'm not.
So after all, that didn't go over well either, and that's how we ended up in the situation that we were in the weekend that he went to jail. Okay. So after that argument on Friday, and we put all the groceries away, and he continued to fight with me in the car, and he continued to fight with me when we got home, and he's just being a complete jackass. We wake up, so Saturday, the February 18th of 2023, he was fighting with me, and he punched me, and he gave me a bloody lip, and I spit blood out in the sink, and I have a picture. I have a picture of that.
Is that where that other video came from? Was that time?
Yes, that first video I saw you where I'm like, with your man gives your bloody lip. Yeah, that was the same. Okay. That was the same day. So he had punched me. Well, he backhanded. He backhanded me, which gave me a bloody lip, and then he bled so much I actually spit blood.
Picking up like the living room after the fight. It was like she was picking up towels, you were picking up stuff, you were putting stuff back. I was like, holy shit.
Oh yeah, and then that was the same.
You can tell there was
that was the same weekend.
And shit went flying, and she's picking it up in the video.
And then Then he cornered me in the kitchen and he pinned me up against the wall and he bit my forehead.
Oh my god!
Like I never had anyone bite.
Blood
Like how do you bite someone on their forehead?
I don't know.
So he bit me on the forehead and then he moved down and he bit me right here on my left.
Saturday or Sunday?
This was all Saturday, and he bit me on my left cheek, and blood
bastard.
is drip. He bit me like he didn't just bite me, like he bite me. He drew blood, and
Yes.
the blood is like dripping down the side of my face, and I'm crying and I'm bleeding. We're supposed to go to Jacqueline's cheerleading. She had a cheerleading thing that night for basketball, and they put on this huge this halftime performance.
Yeah.
And you know what he said? You're not gonna fucking go because I'm not gonna allow you to go.
No.
You are bleeding, and since you're bleeding, go clean that fucking shit up right now. And until you are stopped bleeding, you're not allowed to go anywhere. You're not allowed to go see Jacqueline. You're not allowed to go to the high school. I'm like, am I a fucking child? You like literally grounded me. He literally grounded me. Then shoved me in the bathroom and told me to wipe that shit up off my face. And then it ended up turning on black and blue. The whole side of my face turned black and blue. Yeah, there was by the next day it was somewhat black and blue. That's what the cops did get a picture of that. So basically, you know, he's like, oh yeah, you can't you come out of this bathroom when you stop bleeding. Well, needless to say, the bleeding stopped and we went to her thing, and I tried to kept doing this with my hair so people would see it. Oh, that really pissed him off. He's like, you better cover that up right now. I don't want anyone seeing that shit. And then he was like arguing. And then he was like, you know, you better cover that up. So now he's like grabbing my hand and holding my hand real tight while we're sitting there, while my parents are sitting in front of me, to make sure that nobody saw that mark on my face, because God forbid he wouldn't want anyone to know what he did.
I'm like, just wait, somebody's gonna see it.
Yeah, Jacqueline did say she saw it, but she thought maybe Zeke, you know, got it. So she didn't say anything. So we come home, I try to make dinner, and now we're getting ready to crawl into bed, and all of a sudden, I don't even, this is what started it, I forgot. I had gone out to lunch earlier with my mom. That's another way to piss off your narcissist. Go to lunch with your mother. Talk on the phone with your sister.
Oh my God.
Yeah, they don't like those things. So my mom had asked me to go to lunch earlier. And not only did he blow up my phone during my lunch with her, aren't you coming home? Why is it taking you so long? Well, now we're going to go get candy. I didn't know that was on the agenda. Why are you going to the candy store? Why are you taking so long? You should have been home by now. And then now where are you at? Well, now we're driving by the beach. Well, why are you driving by the beach? Why is your mom got to do that? I'm like, so now when I got home, that's what he was mad about. That's when he bit me. So that's what transpired, the bite. He was mad that I went to lunch with my mom, and then I wasn't, and then, well, if you're going to lunch with your mom, what am I supposed to eat? Well, when was the last time you can't make something of your own? Like I'm supposed to make you, I'm supposed to, you know.
It's like the 50s, bitch.
Like I'm like, you're a grown ass man if you can't figure out how to make a fucking sandwich. I don't know what to tell you. So that's what he was mad about. So because I took too long at lunch, that's what transpired him to pick a fight with me, bite my forehead, and then bite my cheek.
Freaking cannibal shit.
So then we got home, and he's still just a pissing and moaning. I don't even know what the fuck he was mad about. We're laying in bed, and he's so mad that he literally says to me, "You're a fucking fat cow. I can't cook. I can't clean. I'm a terrible mother. I don't know how to do anything, and no one wants my Christmas cookies. They only take them and just to make you feel good, but they just throw them out. Nobody eats them."
I ate them this year.
Me too. Oh my God, we live for them.
And those cookies are good.
I knew he was full of
lives
shit.
for the cookies. He said.
Hell
yeah. He goes, "I can't clean, I can't bake, I can't cook, and no one wants anything, and I don't want anything from you. So if you think that I want anything else from you ever again, that is not going to happen." And I thought, oh, thank God, finally, after all this time, I don't have to cater to him. So the next morning comes around, and he wakes up, and then he acted like Saturday never happened. Never. Like, in his mind, that never happened. So then he says, "Hey, babe, I'm hungry. Can you make me some pancakes?
No.
I stood up, or I sat up. I didn't stand on my bed. I stood up and I look over at him. I said, are you fucking kidding me right now? I said, bitch, I'm not making you nothing. After everything you said to me yesterday, I'm not making you anything. I'm not making you breakfast. You want breakfast?
Nothing.
You figure it out. And he goes, oh, are you going to start something with me today? You want to go round 2? Yes, I do. Don't ever tell them you're ready to go round 2, because he went round 2. And round 2 was worse than round 1. So round 2 was, now he's chasing me all over the house, and he's picking fights with me. He's trying to hit me, and he had tennis shoes on, and he kicked me in my shin, and that really hurt. So meantime, I had taken a shower earlier in the day. So now I'm dressed, and he kicked me. So I'm like, that's it. So I was at this point, I think I called a coworker, and I'm on the phone with her, like through Facebook Messenger, and I start walking. I walked out the door, and I'm surprised he didn't stop me. So this is now this is now Sunday the 19th of 2023 of February. So then I'm talking to her, and I'm walking, we hang up, and I thought, oh my God, where am I going to go? First of all, it's February in Michigan. I have a wet head. I have no coat on, and I have a hurt shin because he just fucking kicked me. I literally walked down Cleveland and all the way to the St. Joe Township Police Department that is located on Washington. So there and back was almost 4 miles. With a hurt shin and wet hair. And no coat.
Oh my God.
So I go there. I don't talk to anyone. I come back, and he said, what did you do? Walk to the police station? I said, as a matter of fact, I did. And now he's looking at me like, did she? Did she? And yeah, like now he doesn't know what to do. So now he's pacing, like he's huffing and puffing. Are they coming? Are they coming? And he's got ironically a wife beater T-shirt on.
I remember that.
Oh God.
He's
I remember that.
like gym shorts, like silky gym shorts and slides
basketball
and slides.
shorts.
He always wore those.
Slides on. Yeah, he always wore those. And now he's pacing the slider, wondering if someone is going to come. At this point, no one is coming because I didn't talk to anyone. But how he figured out I even walked to the police department is beyond me. Like, I have no idea where that. So now, because of that really pissed him off, that he pushed me into the bathroom, pinned me up against the wall. He's trying to choke me with the back of his hand. I'm flailing my arms. I'm already in pain because he kicked me. I mean, that fucking thing hurt.
Yeah, it does hurt.
He turned around, and when he did, I bit him on his back.
Good girl.
I mean, I left, I don't know how many multiple of teeth marks.
He was just,
I mean, it was.
He turned around and got, what? That's kind of crazy.
It was the only thing I could think of to
though.
defend myself. So I bit him so fucking hard that my teeth hurt for days.
Yeah.
And he must
Really?
he had probably he probably had 5 upper teeth and 6 lower teeth dug in his back. I mean, I chomped
nice.
but
oh my gosh.
good.
Holy shit.
So now at this point he says we should go to the hospital. We need to get. I said, fine. Well, let's go. Let's go. Let's go to the hospital. You want to go ahead and show that I bit you? We'll go right now. So he gets in the car with me. We get out to the end of Camelot.
He didn't think you were serious, probably.
No, he probably didn't think I was serious.
Laughing, like, okay.
He got out of the car. He got out. He's literally at this point. I have no I have no cell phone on me.
No explanation for the ER staff.
No,
because they're gonna fucking question you, and they're gonna involve the cops there.
Yeah. So how he didn't just like grab the steering wheel from me and make the car turn around is beyond me. But
God's grace.
Somebody was. I had angels looking out for me that day. So he got out of the car and he started walking. And my instinct was, did he just literally get out of the car? And I did. I gunned it, and now I'm on Cleveland, and now I'm like, well, where do I go? Do I Do I just drive around? Do I go down by the lake? Do I go to the gym and do a workout? Like, I don't know. I don't have any idea where I'm going.
Where you can't find you.
I have no idea where I'm going. I have no phone with me because I left it, and I'm like,
yeah.
I'm not even going home.
That part.
I wasn't going to go home to get my phone. I was like, screw it. Nope. I have my car keys. I have my debit card.
Freedom.
I got my freedom. I'm like, no. My car drove me to Bob Evans.
Did it?
Why it drove me there, I have no idea. So I walk in, I'm bawling, and I'm like, I need to talk to Rachel. Rachel sees me. She's like, what the hell? So we sat down in a booth, and I told her everything that had happened over those course of the 24 hours. And she's like, we got to call the cops. I'm like, no, I don't know what to do. And I bid him, and then they're going to take me to jail because he told me that if we fight, I go. So then she's like, we're going home. So she left work. We go to her house.
Good.
I leave my car there. We come here. We tell Tim. Tim calls the cops. I'm like, no. I don't.
Tim just was asking a question.
Yeah, and they showed up.
And then they showed up.
They showed up here. And
really?
Like, yeah.
Wow.
So because even though you guys were in Benton Harbor, it was still St. Joe Township.
Right. Okay.
So St. Joe Township came here, and they're like,
he was really good though.
Yeah,
maybe
was
that's
amazing.
good though that he showed up.
He was amazing. So he's like, okay, well,
he talked to you like a real person.
Yeah,
like,
and he's like, well, tell me what happened. And so I basically told him, I said, well, how far back do you want me to go? And he says,
just today.
He goes, I just need to know what happened yesterday and today because it's 24 hours. Okay. So I told him everything that happened on Saturday, everything that happened today, and then he took pictures and they took everything. Of course, he's got the little thing it's recording, and he says, well, we're going to go to your house and we're going to go talk to him and we're going to get his side of the story. I said, okay. So then he says, I love this part. He says, well, when we get there, is there going to be any markings on his face? Nope. I didn't do anything to his face.
Right.
I said, no. He says, so if we get there and we examine him, is there anything that's going to be on him? And I hold out my hands. I said, you might as well take me. I said, I bit him. I said, he has bite marks. I said, I hope it gets infected. And I hold out. I said, if you need to arrest me, I understand. He goes, ma'am, I'm not going to arrest you. He said, that was self-defense.
It is.
We're going to go to your house and we're going to get his side of the story. I said, okay. So by the time the cops left, they were already at my house before we got there.
Wow.
And when we pulled up, and now me, Rachel, Tim, and 2 cops walk up on my deck.
Yeah.
He was fucking pissed. Now, at this point, this mother, he put jeans on, he put tennis shoes on, a shirt on, a vest on, and a hat on, and he was ready to flee. I'm like, for someone that was in a wife beat, never, ever gets dressed. And he barricaded the slider. So even if I had a key, I couldn't get in.
That don't
so
look good.
I knock on the slider, and I go, who doesn't have kahunas now, bitch? The police officer wasn't really thrilled at the fact that I had said that and said, ma'am, can you come in? Yeah, it was really funny. And he says, can you come down and come down here and stand
You're not thinking of that stuff.
next to us? I said, yeah. Well, when they finally were able to get in there, he had a pocket knife on him.
Yeah.
So at this point, I'm convinced he was going to stab me. He was going to stab me and flee because he had his car keys on him and he happened to have the title to his car and he was fully dressed. So to me, that seems like, why would you prepare yourself for all of that? I think he knew when I was gone for so long. Yep. I think he just had it. He just kind of knew something was gonna happen, and so they took the knife from him and they threw it in the bushes, and then.
They talked, he's against them with a knife.
Then they talked to him, and we're out on the deck, and I'm missing the conversation. And the next thing I know, the one police officer is taking him out the front door in handcuffs.
The whole thing.
I know.
I was ready to record that.
She did flip him off,
and that was great. I'm
like, and I was like,
I love it.
And the other cop was like, "It's safe to come in here." I'm like, "Well, what?" I go, well, what the hell happened? I'm like, I thought you guys were going to take his side of the story. She's like, yeah, we ran his name, and apparently this is not the first time. This is a third offense. I said, third? He says this is a third offense, and he's going to be charged with third offense domestic violence. So that's why we took him.
The shit you don't know about people, dude.
And then I was like, okay. And then he goes, do you feel safe staying here tonight? I said, yeah, because if I know he's not coming
if
back.
If he's in jail, yeah.
So then my biggest concern was, oh my God, is he going to get out on bail?
Right,
Is someone going to bail him
right.
out? If he does, is he going to come back to my house? You know, so I was like, oh my God, I don't know. You know, I don't know what to do. So then, at this point, I decided I was going to stay at my mom's house because I was like,
Good.
I don't know if I want to stay at my house. If he destroys, if he comes and he destroys my house, then I can get him on destruction of property, even though I don't have,
in it,
and I'm not in. He can't hurt me. So I'm like, that thing's replaceable. People are not.
Yes.
Okay, so I stayed with my mom for 2 months, and during that time frame, I had a domestic violence person call me. Okay. And they're like, hey, I want to just, you know, I'm gonna be your domestic violence advocate, and I just kind of want to, you know, give you some, you know, I want to know what happened. And I said, well, how far back do you want me to go? She goes, well, just give me points on, like, bullet points on what you experienced during the time that you guys were together. So I told her all that, and she's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that you did that. And I said, well, now what happens? I said, I have audio, I have pictures, I've got emails that I sent to myself. You know, it's really sad when you got to send yourself emails on the off chance you might need that for reference. It's smart,
though. It was smart.
Yeah, and you know what she said? We won't need that. And I said, well, why? I said, is what you have enough? She goes, oh, yeah, he took a plea deal on the 1st of March, and they dropped it from a 3rd offense to a 2nd offense.
It would have been a felony.
It would have been a felony, and he would have gone for 5 years.
Down to a misdemeanor?
Now it's down to,
That's fucked up.
I'm like, how do you take a plea deal on a 3rd offense?
This should not have.
It never should have happened.
Usually 3 offense is prison, is it not?
Yeah, it would have been 5 years.
That's what 5 years was supposed to be, but he got through that too.
How do you let someone take a fucking plea deal? How do you let an abuse?
To admit it, maybe.
Justice would be saying, God, was we wrong.
So then I said, well, what do I do? She says, well, you're going to get some paperwork in the mail because they're probably going to summon you, and you're going to have to come in, and you're going to have to do an impact statement, and blah, 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 blah. I'm like, okay. So I feel like, in general, the whole system failed me. First of all, I think that the prosecutor failed me because I didn't even know who the prosecutor was till the day I went in to do my impact statement after he'd taken a plea deal. I mean, I would think if you're going to get someone on domestic violence, you would want something. Hey, you know what? Maybe I should talk to the victim, find out if, you know, how long has this been going on for? Do you have any proof other than what happened over the last 24 hours? Nope, nobody called me. And then after I talked to the advocate, about a couple of weeks later, before I went to court, I got mail for him. Now there's a no contact because he's in jail. I'm a victim. He's the abuser. Obviously, there's no contact, and mail came for him. And so I called my advocate and I said, "Hey, I'm just calling." And she goes, "Well, what does common sense tell you?" I'm sorry, what?
What?
She says, well, common sense says that if you get mail for somebody that doesn't live there anymore, what do you think you should do with the mail? I was crying by the time I was done talking to her. She's supposed to be an advocate for me. I'm hurting. I'm trying to heal. I have to do an impact statement. I have to see him in court.
But what a bitch.
And now you have no compassion for me whatsoever.
Don't do that job if you don't have that.
Thank you. And I was pissed. And so every time I called her, she was very snooty and very rude and very disrespectful.
Is this the same person I called in the first place?
Yeah. Same lady.
What happened?
I don't know. So I feel she failed me because she made me feel stupid and did not feel protected. And I said, well, when he gets out, where's he going to live? Well, what difference does it make where he lives?
I don't want to be near him.
I don't want to be, exactly. I don't want to be near him. So he knows where I live because he lived with me, but I can't know where he lives. So you're going to protect You're going to protect the criminal, and the victim gets nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
That's basically what was happening. So then this probation officer, she failed me too because I kept calling her and saying, hey, you know, I know he's in jail. What happens when he gets out? What do I do? Do I need a PPO? What happens? And what happens if he comes to my house? So I'm like, and then I would call him and be like, do you know he's on Facebook posting that he's you know, in a bar? Oh, I had no idea he was in a bar. I said, what do you mean you had no idea? Well, we don't know those things unless someone calls and tells us.
Usually they look at that
you want me to just go on Facebook every now and then to see if he's in a bar to call you? Isn't that your job?
That's what they're supposed to do.
I'm like, isn't that your job to make sure? And she goes, well, If you happen to see that, just let me know.
Oh,
What the fuck?
I didn't know that was my responsibility.
It's not your
to find-
responsibility.
That's their,
You to
you
do
are
this
a
job.
freaking
Yeah.
probation officer. You should know what he's
Probation
up to.
officers do it. They'll go on your
They're
Facebook.
supposed to.
She didn't, so she failed me. Then when
She's
I
our
do
ass fired.
when I do go in front of the
Seriously.
judge
I would have.
and I do
Me
my
too.
impact statement, which I'm going to read here in a minute, and I did my impact statement, I said I want him to spend as much time in jail as the law will allow.
I know.
I really thought he was going to get 180 days because technically on a second offense after they dropped it down, he should have. So what does the judge do? The judge gives him 93 days in jail. Then he gets out at 74 for good behavior because God forbid, why would they? So again, the criminal gets a little slap on the wrist while the victim is trying to put the pieces together of her life, who is going to be triggered numerous things, and then nothing happens to him, and he just gets to live his life like nothing
ever
happened.
happened.
Meantime, I got to rebuild relationship with my kids, with my parents, with my friends.
He's messed everything
What's
up.
going to happen when I want to date again? Am
Yeah,
I going to
that's
protect myself
scary.
when they want to, hug me and put their hands on me? So I told the
Keep your
judge. I
guard
told the
up.
judge that too, and I said, so I really want him to go. And I was pissed when they did that. So I'm going to read the impact statement, and then that will close out
Okay.
my
story.
story.
I'm not trying to be rude, but and all these people are asking me like, "Are you ready yet? Are you ready?" I'm like, "Okay, she's wrapping it up."
Wrapping it
Yeah,
up.
all
Wow.
three of them are asking. Well, I text Kendra at first. I'm like, "Okay," I'm like, "It's gonna be later." And then Roy texted me, and then I got messages.
No, this should only take like a couple minutes,
Okay,
and then
no, take your time.
and
You're
then
fine.
I'm done. So this is what I had wrote to say in front of the judge. I am so and so's third victim. He was charged with assault with intent to great bodily harm, less than murder, strangulation, domestic violence, third offense. I am upset that it's even possible for a charge like that to be reduced to domestic violence, second offense. I don't understand how a controlling, manipulating abuser may not be held fully accountable for his actions. Over the course of the last 4.5 years, on numerous occasions, he abused me and traumatized me using demeaning, belittling, humiliating, and cruel verbal assaults against me. He started arguments justify his violence, such as hitting me with his hands on and various objects in numerous places on my body, causing me to have bruises, ringing in my ear, and light flashes in my eyes. Punching me, kicking me, spitting on me, pulling my hair, biting me, tripping me, choking me with his hands, an extension cord, and smothering me with a pillow on 2 separate occasions. Holding a knife and scissors to my neck to draw blood. Slamming me, pinning me, and banging my head against walls, punching holes in the walls of my home, threatening to kill me and hurt me and my kids and my family and destroy everything in my home if I told anyone. He isolated me from my family, from my friends, and never allowed me to do anything without him. He caused my daughter to live elsewhere outside of fear. He kept me from leaving my home by taking my keys, cell phone, and debit card if I tried. I felt trapped, fearful, and lonely by this ongoing situation. I feel he needs help and anger management classes. I feel he needs AA as he drinks from noon to 11 o'clock every day. I feel he's going to continue to hurt women and be afraid he will come after me. I feel the abuse will have a long-term effect on me in future relationships. I feel he will need counseling. I'm going to need counseling and a support group. He received a court-ordered eviction from my home on February 22nd of 2023. I want him to never be allowed to have contact with me in the future. My recommendation is that he be held accountable for his actions and sentenced to the maximum amount allowed by the law. This should include any expenses incurred by me, jail time, monitoring, and probation. And the fucker got 93 days in jail and a year probation.
And
And then they let him out
it's
at 70.
appalling. It
And
is
then they let him out
appalling.
at 74 days. And then he got picked up in May of 2024 in Kalamazoo, held at the Kalamazoo jail for 2 days before they transferred him to Berrien County. I found out because Tracy's good at investigating, and she's like, do you know he's back in jail? And I'm like, so I called his probation officer. And I said, I hear he's back in jail. I said, oh, let me guess. He broke probation again. I said, oh, must be because he keeps drinking and he doesn't know how to stay out of trouble. And I said, I just want to let you know that when he kicked me in my shin on the 19th of February of 2023, I still have a bruise there, and it's still tender to the touch.
Bone bruise.
He
Yeah.
bruised my bone. That's how
Yeah.
hard he kicked me, because I went to the hospital a week later.
It hurts so
And
bad.
so I guess what happened
Still.
is she went,
Yeah.
when they went to court, she told the judge that he should get the full 190 days in
Yes.
jail, but because he
How
already
hard
did
is
the
that?
time, he was like, he got 90 some days total, and now he's
Of course he's
walking.
good when he's there.
So now he's walking free, doing God knows what to God knows who, living God knows where.
Of course he's good
feel
good
like
in
that cycle
jail.
is
There's
just
no
gonna keep
women.
going.
The
It's a
beat-
continuous cycle.
And I
You
feel
know?
like that with like what I've been through too. I'm like, you know, I feel like it's just a vicious cycle that'll keep repeating itself.
Yeah, and the judge's
And I
face
hate
was
that. It's
like,
nothing's gonna be done. It's just
No.
gonna keep going. Somebody's gonna die and get hurt.
that's what I'm afraid of. Is it going to take for him
Takes
to
a
kill
good
someone
judge,
for him
too,
to,
and, yep.
you know?
People who care. Yeah.
I hope so.
So that's my story.
That's a lot. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did we say?
So I don't feel sorry for him. I don't care what happens to him.
Yeah,
The only
I don't
thing
either.
good is he's
He made his own
never.
decision.
He's never come to my house. He's never contacted me. He never wrote
Good.
to me while I was in jail. And the only
that's
thing he
good.
did do is he did stalk me on TikTok. And I'm
How'd
like,
you
doesn't
find
he
out?
real?
Did he write
Because TikTok tells you,
Oh,
like
wow.
Facebook doesn't, but TikTok
Okay.
does.
I
So if you
wish they
view,
would. Who has looked at your
yeah.
profile?
So I'm like, he could get more off my Facebook
Oh,
than
that's
he
right,
could
yeah.
that would be
TikTok.
nice. You know?
Yeah.
But he viewed, so he did
would.
view my TikTok, and he saved one of my videos from TikTok, and
It's all about abuse. Too.
yeah, and it was all
What the
about
fuck?
abuse. It says,
It's about you, stupid.
it says,
Yeah, nobody
I'd
else.
rather be the villain in your story.
Unless he's
I wa-
saving him, pretending he's the victim.
Something about, I'd rather have peace and be the villain in your story, or something
Yeah,
like
something
that.
like that. I know what you're
And
talking
so
about.
he saved, and so then I got the notification that he saved
Oh,
that
Jesus
meme. So
Christ.
that's the only
I
that
didn't
I
just
know
get
of
in your head
is
and
the
make it-
only thing he has done. And I didn't give him the
Mm-mm.
satisfaction of knowing he did it, because what's the point?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want him to. If he wants to look at it, fine, go ahead and look at it. You're going to see all
That's all
kinds of
he'll see.
domestic violence
Yep.
on my TikTok, and so.
Aw.
Let him stalk all he wants, because I'm not going to
Yeah.
give him the satisfaction of doing anything
Of
about
telling
it.
him that you know, yeah.
That noise.
But you could probably get a restraining order if he keeps doing it. No wonder.
I don't think it's because I don't even know if they even know where he's at, because
Oh,
now he's
okay.
not. He's no longer on probation. He can go anywhere he wants. He
Yeah.
can leave the state. He can go drink
Hopefully he's
wherever
out
he
of the
wants.
state. Yeah.
Last I knew, he was in Kalamazoo.
Okay. Far.
So
Wow.
I don't
Well-
know if that's really where he's